We wanted to address something very important in today's video. It's not going to be a long video or anything like that. But we wanted to talk about a movie that Courtney wanted me to see. It's been trending and it's been out there on social media. The movie's called Sound of Freedom. And I felt the need to make this video. Courtney and I felt to make this video because I knew nothing about the movie. Courtney's the one that said, we're going to the movies July 4th, and I want to watch a movie that has been basically, I never heard about. When she said Sound of Freedom, I was like, I don't want to watch this. Because I'm like, it don't even sound good. I'm like, is it like a war movie, anything like that? She didn't tell me. If you guys have a chance to go and watch it in theaters or watch it period, to do so.
It really hasn't been shared on social media or any previews or anything on TV at all. It actually came out 5 years ago at a film festival, I think. And then I think it's Jim Caviezel, or just Caviezel, the actor, and Mel Gibson is the one that directed it and everything. And they created this movie together. They did Passion of the Christ together too, but they did this movie together and have been getting pushback from all the movie theaters and big producers and all that for the last 5 or so years to put it out in theaters. They finally got the chance, were able to, for whatever reason, I don't know. This year they were able to put it out, and it's only out for a couple months, so you definitely need to go see it. It is a very heavy movie. And I've even seen on TikTok some videos of people getting upset that they brought their kids. Other people brought their kids to the movie, and honestly, I think it's perfectly fine for a kid to see because there's not a bunch of cussing, there's nothing, inappropriate or anything like that in there. It will be a little bit intense maybe for them, but I think for kids, especially of a certain age, it's an important thing for them to see, understand, and know that it's real. It is very, very real, and it's the biggest in our country. I know a lot of people think sex trafficking, child trafficking is one of those things that, it happens in a bunch of third world countries. It will never happen here. Or it happens once or twice a year out here. It happens every day in the United States, whether that be kids coming across the borders, and I mean all across the borders, not just Mexico, coming on planes, trains, buses, you name it, whether that be online. So it's nothing to take lightly. It's something very serious that goes on a daily basis out here.
When I first saw the film, I was shocked as far as, I knew this was happening because we heard of Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein Island and all this other stuff, but I didn't know how bad human trafficking and sex trafficking was until we started seeing the numbers and started seeing how this stuff breaks down and how the organizations work. Yeah. And unfortunately, the United States is one of the biggest consumers in sex trafficking or human trafficking.
It is the biggest.
It is. It's a $150 billion revenue stream that when you go to think about it as like a business or if a country is profiting off of it, why would you want that $150 billion to go away? Yeah. Like, why would you do anything to have that disappear? No, you want that revenue stream. Biggest thing with me was how people are categorizing this movie now. There wasn't any commercials. There wasn't any marketing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they market Indiana Jones. They market freaking not Titanic, but they market the dang Avatar movie that has nothing to do with real life. And so when I heard that they tried to put this out 5 years ago, but they kept going through red tape, yellow tape, green tape, whatever tape, and they didn't want this out, that's when you know you need to pay attention to something, and that's when you know something needs huge attention. We want you guys to go see the movie. The media, Courtney just told me that New York Times, was it New York Times or?
No. Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones.
I can't remember the other one.
They try to make the movie seem like it's some type of conspiracy or it's backed by some other organizations that I'm not going to speak of, but I'm going to say that it's just all bullcrap. Like, when you see the movie, like, especially like if you're in my position, seeing it for the first time, you never even knew it existed, and then watching it, it's just raw. It's raw, and it's like in your face, and it's very.
It's really
it puts you in like the position of like, dang, what am I gonna do about this? But I'm just an average American. Like, what can I do about it?
And at the very least, you can go see it and you can go tell other people to go see it.
Yeah, because we all didn't know about Jeffrey Epstein until it came out on freaking Hulu or YouTube or whatever. But everybody was talking about that dang Tiger King. Yeah. But when it comes to the real, no one seems to think it's real, but they applaud Tiger King.
Yeah. And trafficking is something near and dear to my heart. I went on a trip after I graduated from college, to the Philippines, and I spent 2 weeks getting to know and talking to and volunteering with girls that had been trafficked. Mm-hmm. And when you hear their stories and you actually meet people that have been through that, it tears you apart. Because when you hear that they've been sold by their own parents, or just how young they were and how young they still are.
Some were getting sold at 4.5 years old.
Yeah. And there's so much more to it too. Now that movie has come out, Tim Ballard and Caviezel have been on a ton of interviews, podcasts, all that stuff. And so they share even more of what they do. And Tim Ballard has his own podcast too. So it's very impactful. It's deep. It's heavy. You might cry when you watch this movie. You might cry after you watch it. I don't know. But it is something that I think everybody should go see. Men, women, kids, all of it. Yeah. Because the other thing too that Caviezel shared is that there's so many reasons behind them making this movie, but one of them too was to share with parents how they need to be more aware of what's going on around them when they're with their kids out, especially out in public, because you'll see in the movie, if you go see it, how quickly things can happen and how easily things happen on a daily basis. Because these things happen every day. I know that might be crazy to think, but they happen every day in the U.S. and every day everywhere else.
South America.
So it's not just in third world countries or South America or really, really impoverished areas.
Yeah, it might be sensitive to people, but I think sensitivity is what we need, as far as we need to start seeing what's in front of us and believing, like, this is actually happening.
And not acting oblivious.
Yeah, and not praising all this booty shaking, twerking, degeneracy type behavior, because that's not gonna solve anything. I mean, you can feel good or you have some dope of adrenaline or dopamine, you have a dose of that, but the reality is kids that are 4 years old are being trafficked, and then when they're done with them, they either kill them or they sell them off or sell their organs or whatever. It's tough. I'm telling you, it's really hard to wrap your mind around it, but this stuff happens. Like, it's happening, and it's been happening, and it's one of the top grossing revenue streams in the United States. Yeah, drugs are a problem. You know, that's always been there. There's a lot of problems in the world, but, you know, kids, you know, we shouldn't have this problem, especially in the United States or around the world. But we do. And another thing I saw in the movie that what I was shocked with is that they actually use women. Women are the ones that bring them all in. Like, they had this one girl that would just bring them in. And all the kids are like, oh, it's, you know, the guards are down, you know.
You're going to give away stuff about the movie.
I get it, but
Spoiler.
It's not just men that are, you know, the evil ones as well. There's women, they're getting paid, and they take the money and they do what they have to do. If y'all have the chance, please go watch Sound of Freedom. We're not sponsored by anything. We just felt compelled to say this to you guys and make it public and make it known how we feel about it. I think this should change the world. I think it could change the world as far as the awareness. But there has been a lot of backlash. I
think it's important that you guys go see this movie and tell other people to go see this movie.
Yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Court.
And we'll see y'all later.